Alright, welcome back. It's Spooktober. We're going to finish up with disturbing things from around the internet. There are two videos of these to watch. We're on volume 12 and 13, made by Nexpo. Definitely check him out. Link in the description below. I'm sure nobody's going to see this, and if you made it here, you probably know what Nexpo is. But anyway, I do live stream like every night for many hours, so I'm trying to grow that channel. It's very difficult, but we're gonna get into a reaction right now, and you can come on the live stream and also chat and react as well with me. But anyway, let's get it going. Nexpo, good shit. I'm very professional here. I don't like that background noise.
The internet can be a grim place. Surely you don't need someone like me to tell you that.
Disturbing things.
Videos, live streams, works of art, posts, and pages about disturbing events that have happened in our reality are nothing but a Google search away. Underneath the no commentary long plays and the fast lane truck drag racing videos exists a vast ocean of eerie content that'll surely get you thinking. And just might. Keep you up at night.
This is Gemini Home Entertainment. That game.
Welcome back to Disturbing Things, your one-stop shop for bite-sized, eerie finds that I've recently discovered online. This is episode 12, so if this is your first exposure to this series, be sure to head over to the playlist down below for hours of further content to envelop yourself into.
Or check my reactions out.
Without further ado,
put sub to him.
It's time, once again, to dive into 5 more hand-picked and disturbing things.
Turn the
from
light
around
off.
the internet.
Get spooky in here. Come on, camera. Why's my camera blurry? Come on, camera. Stop being dumb. There we go. Alright, what you got for me, Nexpo? Do it. Everywhere at the end of time.
Let's set the mood.
Let's do it.
On the internet, there exists an album by the name of Everywhere at the End of Time. It was created in 2016 by a musical artist named James Leyland Kirby, also known by his stage name, The Caretaker. While I'm aware that on this show, I primarily cover real-world disturbing events, I wanted to discuss this piece of art since it perfectly encapsulates the disturbing reality of over 44 million people that are alive today.
Okay.
As you might have guessed by now, the album's an artistic expression of the numerous stages of dementia and how it slowly overtakes the mind, sending it spiraling into a wormhole of forgetfulness, twisted by a reality that they stray further and further from recognizing.
It's terrifying. I need to listen to this.
The 6-hour album itself starts off ordinary. It's cheery, calm, and invokes a sense of comfort. As the hours pass and it progresses, Leyland subtly morphs not only the overall tone, but each chord progression and tune into something that hardly resembles what you were listening to a mere half-hour earlier. The descriptions from his YouTube video further exemplify the troubles that dementia patients face, too. Stage 1 is described as the first signs of memory loss. It's a stage that's most like a beautiful daydream, the glory of old age and recollection, the last of the great days.
Okay.
Stage 2 encapsulates denial. More efforts made to remember so memories can be more long-form, with a little more deterioration in quality. The overall personal mood is generally lower than the first stage, and at a point before confusion starts setting in.
Yeah, it's very eerie. It's got that like early 1900s kind of vibe. Probably
Stage
it's actually probably definitely intentional because as we come into our own being like millennials or whatever, we see that our grandparents or like I don't know, even parents maybe um are getting older and go through dementia and uh the thing is those older people were like in their heyday in like the early 1900s. Well, a little bit more than that because that would make them like 100 years old or so, but you see what I'm getting at. The older people, they go through dementia, their music is different than ours, so it's nice to see that deterioration in music quality and tone and stuff. I don't know, I'm rambling. Let's go.
3 approaches the metaphorical inflection point. It's described as the phase where some of the last coherent memories exist before confusion fully rolls in and the gray mists form and fade away. Finest moments have been remembered, but the musical flow in places is more confused and tangled. As we progress, some singular memories become more disturbed, isolated, broken, and distant. These are the last embers of awareness before we enter the post-awareness stages.
That's hard to think about. Yeah, you can hear it.
At the 2 hour and 8 minute mark, the album takes a stark tonal shift as it begins to exemplify the post-awareness stages, the spot where reality becomes a bleak, confusing mess, and where little seems to make sense. It's described as the point where serenity and the ability to recall singular memories gives way to confusions and horror. It's the beginning of an eventual process where all memories begin to become more fluid through entanglements, repetition, and rupture.
That's so weird because my girlfriend has dealt with a bunch of people going through dementia and decline in that particular area, cognitive awareness and stuff like that. Um, it's actually terrifying, but I don't know. Everybody always says it's incredibly difficult to look at, to watch your loved one just fucking deteriorate into hallucinations and shit like that. Or just forgetting everything. The thing about it though is I'm not quite sure if it's that bad for the people going through dementia. I mean, it might be. I don't know. I've never had dementia. But I also think about it as if, if they're seeing all of this stuff, that's like their reality. So I don't think, do people know that they're going through dementia? You know what I'm saying? Like, are they aware that their mind is being deteriorated or is deteriorating? Um, or do they just think that it's how existence is? I don't know. I've thought about that quite a bit, actually. Yeah, you're starting to get just a bunch of noise. Just
Stage 5.
crazy.
More extreme entanglements, repetition, and rupture can give way to calmer moments. The unfamiliar may sound and feel familiar. Time is often spent only in the moment, leading to isolation.
What a creepy concept for an album. 6-hour album.
In stage 6, one without description.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. All complexity is gone, and you're basically surviving as you can with just the bare minimum that your body can do. It's tough to think about.
I lost my great-grandmother to dementia just a few years ago, so this album really resonated with me.
Yeah.
As a child, I remember her being full of life, always willing to go the extra mile to evoke a sense of union and love, whether it was through her cooking, her stories, or even her presence at family gatherings. She was always someone that welcomed us with open arms when we go visit her. She lived alone.
Yeah.
My great-grandfather had passed when I was very young, so unfortunately, memories of him are vague. But
Great.
I do remember him as being hardworking and an honest man.
Oh, great
Over the
grandparents.
years,
Okay.
I didn't fully understand it, but I slowly began to notice that something was off.
That is from the back rooms, Kane Pixel's back rooms. I think he got it from something else too. Interesting. Very interesting.
One year we had gone to visit her, and she didn't quite remember myself or my siblings.
Yep.
It's a strange feeling when a family member addresses you with a respectful but off-putting, "And you are?" line that I'm sure most relatives of dementia patients are accustomed to. And then I realized what it was. Slowly, through subsequent visits, I began to notice things, like sticky notes, explaining basic tasks, like remembering to shut off light switches.
It's so crazy. Just like it happens quickly, but it also happens gradually. I mean, quickly in a relative sense, I guess, but it is still so gradual that it's not a shock. Like you don't just have dementia one day, right? Like you slowly deteriorate over time. And so because it's slow, you can acclimate yourself to it. Like, okay, this is just normal day-to-day life. And then like something weird happens. Like, okay, this is normal day-to-day life. And it just keeps getting worse and worse until at some point you think back to a year earlier and you're like, holy shit, how did I fuck up that bad? Or how did I get fucked up that bad? Like, because it's just such a slow decline.
Close the front door, to turn off the water, how to flush the toilet. Family photos were labeled, and her once lively personality had slowly faded away.
Sure.
She was trying. She was trying so hard to be her. But this condition simply wouldn't let her.
God. So awful
Bottom
to
line,
think about.
everywhere at the end of time is a disturbingly bleak-looking glass into the human mind. While it isn't creepy footage or a disturbing phone call, this single piece of art is one of the most real, artistic expressions of a human condition that I've ever encountered.
Sure.
Life is fragile and beautiful, and few things have stuck with me more than this.
I have to give that
If
a
you have a story
listen.
about a friend or relative that you'd like to share, feel free to leave it in a comment. While they might have forgotten due to circumstances out of their control, they surely won't be.
I don't think I've ever had anybody that I know that's gone through dementia. Possibly my grandfather before he passed, but I don't know. I was in college at that time. Caught in the storm.
On the 22nd of May 2011, a devastating EF5 rated tornado ripped through the city of Joplin, Missouri. It
Sure.
lasted around 38 minutes and reached wind speeds of more or less 200 miles per hour.
2011.
The
It's about
aftermath photos
a
are
decade ago. Holy shit.
grim,
Holy fuck,
and
that town
so
got
too
fucked
are
up.
the videos. For the past couple of years now, I've gotten a few recommendations about covering this upload, and to be honest, I never actually sat down and watched the entire thing all the way through.
Interesting.
Life and such just got in the way. But I digress. The video is titled First Person Video of Joplin, Missouri Tornado, created by a user named IzelSG and uploaded on the very same day that this tragedy occurred.
Oh, wow.
Their description claims that they took this footage inside of a Fast Trip gas station on East 20th Street. Initially, they hid in the back of the store before taking refuge inside of the storage fridge.
Yeah.
While there aren't many visuals within their recording, the audio conveys everything you need to know about being caught in a storm of this magnitude. Have a listen.
I've been in I've been near quite a few tornadoes in my time.
At least probably 10 or 12.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's probably 18 or 19.
The chin is getting real.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, they said there was one. They said there was one on the ground at 7th and range line.
Yeah, but that's the one coming between us. We're on 20 of them.
Man, look at that.
That's why that wind.
Gosh.
No, they haven't yet. The sirens aren't going.
But yeah, they did.
What?
Yeah, they
Dude,
did. That's as we were coming in
Crazy.
here. They
This is
did.
getting real.
Somebody's door.
Go let them in.
Someone in.
Shit.
We need it.
Been in this situation many times. God, it's terrifying. God damn. Holy shit. I think we're gonna do it. Oh my god. That is some fries for life.
I'm trying to put less weight on him though.
Those are some fucking whales.
Who's right here? Is that you right below me?
Wow. I guess they made it. I assume, anyway. He uploaded it, right? God damn, though. You don't fuck around with tornadoes. I think they're fascinating, and whenever there may be one, I do go outside
Thankfully,
and try and look for
everyone
it.
in that store was okay that
But-
day. The same, unfortunately, couldn't be said about the others that came face to face with it. In
God
total,
damn.
the storm took 158 lives and left over 1,100 people injured. Considering the fact that the tornado sirens fired off just 20 minutes before this happened, it's safe to assume that time to escape was minuscule.
I don't know, I guess.
The incident in Joplin is haunting, and to date, it's
Jeez.
cemented into history as the 4th deadliest tornado on record. Hopefully, 10 years later, they've recovered successfully and never, ever have to endure something close to this magnitude ever again.
I wouldn't count on it. As grim as that is, I wouldn't count on that.
There's one coffee made.
Come on, internet, don't fuck around with me.
In 2012, a man had killed himself by the name of Israel Keys. He was a serial killer, an arsonist, a bank robber,
Shit.
one of the worst types of people that exist. The reason for his suicide was because he was caught after a kidnapping and ransom attempt over 18-year-old Samantha Koenig of Anchorage, Alaska.
I would
This
I would
is
like
his
to
ransom
live in
photo proving that
Alaska.
she was alive, to which, in exchange, he had demanded $30,000. Except, in this photo, Samantha Koenig wasn't alive.
Ooh.
Let's back up.
Ooh, that's fucked up. I don't know about that.
On the 1st of February 2012, Koenig was working at a local coffee booth. She can be seen on this CCTV footage where everything seems fine.
Sure.
About 2 minutes into it, however, we can observe someone approach the window, to which she reacts with unease. Afterwards, we can see her hastily shut the lights off before carrying out his demands in the moment. After some back and forth, she opens the register and can be seen taking out cash to give to the man.
Why did she shut the lights off?
He then demands that she kneels before he enters through the window.
Hold on.
In a few minutes, however, we can observe someone approach the window, to which she reacts with unease. Afterwards, we can see her hastily shut the lights off
Yeah,
before
she
carrying out
does
his
it. She
demands
does-
in the
that's-
moment.
That's interesting. I don't know why she would do that.
After some back and forth, she opens the register and can be seen taking out cash to give to the man.
Unless he made her do that, like pulled a gun on her.
He then demands that she kneels before he enters through the window. And a few minutes later, he proceeds to escort her out of the trailer. After this moment,
A trailer.
she was never seen again.
Hmm.
As it turned out, her final moments were grim. Later that night, and back at his home, it was reported that he sexually assaulted her, robbed her of everything she had, killed her, and placed her corpse in a shed.
Jesus
Even more
Christ.
bizarrely, the day after, he took off to New Orleans where he went on a 2-week cruise with his family. The entire time, she was left there and was never found.
God. I mean, eventually she was found,
2
right?
weeks later, and he comes back from his trip. Her body's still in place, and so Keyes dresses her up with makeup and sews her eyes open for a photo with a recent issue of the local newspaper.
Oh my gosh.
He did this to invoke the belief that she was still alive, and like we established prior, he had put a $30,000 price tag on her. While this facade was happening, in reality, he had dumped her body in Matanuska Lake, a few miles north of Anchorage. Israel Keyes was later caught. However, it wasn't where you'd expect.
Oh.
As it turned out, he'd taken off towards the mainland US, utilizing Koenig's bank card for cash withdrawals as if nothing happened. Because of this, police were able to follow his trail and eventually tracked him down to a Cotton Patch Cafe in Lufkin, Texas.
Oh, no shit. I went to college right there in Nacogdoches. We used to go to Lufkin. Lufkin's like 15, 20 minutes away, maybe. Yeah, that's where I went to college. Right there, up at the top, Lufkin. Yeah. Holy shit. Holy shit. It's pretty crazy. Because fucking Lufkin of all places. Okay. That's
It was
weird.
the morning of March 12th when Texas Ranger Stephen Rayburn would perform the arrest, and afterwards, Keyes was promptly sent back to Alaska, where he eventually confessed to not only this act, but numerous others.
2012. Fuck, that was like my final year of grad school. How the fuck did I not hear about that? Yeah, I was finishing up my thesis in 2012. And I graduated in December of that year.
By December of that year, though,
Oh,
he would be found dead in his jail cell.
good.
He had slit his wrists and tried to strangle himself, leaving behind his own corpse and various notes and drawings made in blood under his cell bed. To this day, police are still frustrated by this, as with his life went countless questions unanswered.
Sure.
Samantha Koenig was just an ordinary person working her job, as we all do. She didn't sign up for this. She didn't provoke anyone, and she sure as hell didn't deserve the fate that she was given.
Yeah.
What she thought would be just another night at work had devolved into a surreal night of hell. A night of hell that led to an injustice. And, frustratingly, there's nothing that anyone can do to ever bring her back.
God damn, how did they find him in Lufkin coming from Anchorage, Alaska? It's crazy. It's insane shit. The incident on Highway 125.
On On August 28th of 2009, a California Highway Patrol officer named Mark Saylor was on a drive in a Lexus sedan with his wife Cleofe, brother-in-law Chris, and daughter Mahala.
Cleofe.
They were heading northbound on California
name.
State Route 125 towards Mission Gorge Road in Santee. While the circumstances outlined appeared to be ordinary, little did they know that their vehicle would lead to this venture being their last. At around 7 p.m., a phone call was made to 911. It was from Chris, and he could be heard pleading for help since his car had malfunctioned. Have a listen.
Cleofe. It's a good name. I like that name.
911 emergency, what are you reporting?
Yeah, we're in a Lexus.
I'm sorry, your cell phone's cutting out.
We're going north 125,
Mm-hmm.
and accelerator stuck.
I'm sorry?
Ooh.
Accelerator stuck. We're on
Good.
125 and we're in break.
Okay, northbound 125, where are you passing?
We are passing, where are we passing? We're going 120, Mission Gorge. We're in trouble.
Oh,
We can't,
shit.
there's no break.
Okay.
There's no brakes.
Okay, and you don't have the ability to, like, turn the vehicle off or anything?
We're approaching an intersection. We're approaching an intersection.
Oof.
Okay.
We're approaching intersection. Hold on. Pray.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. Oh.
Okay. Hello?
Ooh. Those people just died, didn't they? Those people fucking...
First tonight, we are hearing from the attorneys for both Bob Baker Lexus and the family of Officer Mark Saylor, who was killed along with his family in a fiery crash 1 year ago in Santee.
Today, Toyota announced it had settled the lawsuit with the Saylor family, but 10 News has learned...
Holy
As a result
shit.
of this,
Oh my
everyone in
god.
that car lost their lives that night. The worst part about it is that the car wasn't even theirs.
That car got
It was a loaner
fucked
given to them
up.
by a nearby Lexus dealership. It was reported that the vehicle had reached a top speed of 120 miles per hour before crashing into a Ford Explorer and jumping off an embankment near the Mission Gorge Road intersection at the end of Highway 125. Witnesses claimed that the vehicle was thrown nearly 100 feet into the air before crashing into the ground and bursting into flames.
Gosh.
After the incident, it was reported that the Explorer driver had suffered minor injuries and was promptly treated at a nearby hospital. For the family,
What do you even
it was believed
do?
that the accelerator had become stuck due to an engineering oversight in Lexus models that included rubber floor mats. After a myriad of other incidents related to this, Lexus eventually rolled out numerous recalls from the span of 2009 to 2011.
Wait,
most
what?
of which being
Wait,
related
what happened? The accelerator got stuck under this plastic floor mat? Rubber floor mat? Whatever?
to the accelerator pedal. The sheer amount of issues in affected vehicles are staggering too.
Wow.
On your screen is a list of the recalls they'd sent out, and as you can see, a ton of them are related to the brakes or the accelerator pedal. By the end of it, over 5.2 million vehicles were
Holy
affected,
shit.
and in hindsight, it's safe to say that anyone driving a Lexus model from 2009 to 2011 were rightfully on edge. The families of the victims eventually filed numerous lawsuits against Toyota, and as a result, they eventually came to a $10 million settlement. No matter how you slice it though, no amount of money can bring someone back from a design failure that they had no control over.
Exactly.
They didn't deserve to die that day, and his final 911 call will forever remain cemented into internet history as one of the most disturbing real-world examples of a simple weekend drive that shouldn't have ended the way it had.
Yeah. I've heard a few phone calls like that. People, you know, not making it. It's rough. Could you on a train? Got a Dr. Seuss bullshit here.
It's 7:23 a.m. on the morning of September 29th of 2016. Passacack Valley Line Train 1614 departs the Spring Valley
Passacack.
Station in New York, heading southbound for the Hoboken Station in New Jersey. One way, the trip takes about an hour by train, and on board that morning were an estimated 250 passengers. The ride itself is mostly okay, with nothing seeming awry. Time begins to pass, and train goers await the day of work ahead of them.
Work is
8:45 a.m. The train's approaching its destination. Being one of the busiest travel hubs in the region, Hoboken Station was lively as expected. The train approaches the terminal, and where it's typically required to stop, it doesn't.
Oh,
it maintains its full speed and crashes through the buffer stop at the end of the rail, causing passengers to be thrown throughout the cabin and forced into a manic frenzy with no clue on how to process it.
Shit.
We just kept going and going. No braking. No nothing. Jamie Weatherhead Saul claims. The moment feels like an eternity.
Fuck, what do you even do?
Until gravity does what it does.
Yeah.
The train comes to a halt past the rails and up against the terminal wall, and the normally busy and lively train station is now temporarily declared a disaster area.
God, it's plowing right through it.
On this day, 114 passengers are injured and one loses their life. September 29th is now forever associated with the tragedy that should not have happened.
I mean,
while this event is tragic in and of itself, on the internet and through word of mouth, the mystery surrounding it is merely beginning to take root. Let's back up.
What, like, why didn't it stop? Is that the mystery?
Good morning from the wires of Associated Press and the WKTV.
It's one day prior, the 28th. A central New York TV station named WKTV was broadcast on the usual 6 p.m. lineup. During a commercial break, however, something peculiar would overtake their station. Let's have a look.
Okay. I don't know. No clue. They never said why it crashed. Civil authorities have issued a hazardous materials warning for the United States. Okay. Could you on a train? The fuck does that mean? What?
Civil authorities have issued a hazardous materials warning for the United States, effective until September 29th, 2:16 a.m. Could you, on a train?
It's like a Dr. Seuss thing, right?
Interesting.
Like green eggs and ham?
Not only did they appear to be hacked, but of all things, it referenced a Dr. Seuss quote about a train.
Okay. Yeah, I was right.
The timing is striking. Immediately after, WKTV puts out numerous statements. From their Twitter. If you are watching our 6 p.m. newscast, you saw a hazardous materials warning message. There is no such warning. It was a technical error.
Nah, this is some fucking Local 58 shit. But in real life.
And later that night, from their website. If you were watching our newscast around 6:17 p.m. or at 10:38 p.m., you may have seen a hazardous materials warning crawl across your screen. There is no such warning. The message was an automated test which was not intended for public display.
No.
This message originated from FEMA as a test and had the national location code in it. Tests should not have that code as it's automatically retransmitted. We've contacted the New York State Broadcasters Association, who administers the emergency alert system in New York. We're working with FEMA to resolve this. Our apologies for the confusion this may have caused.
No, that's some fucking Local 58 shit, man.
In total, there wasn't one, but 2 of these alerts. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find footage of them separately. However, it's safe to assume that they were either the exact same are very similar. Interestingly, if we pick apart their wording, WKTV is mostly pinning the blame on FEMA, the Government Disaster Relief Program. An interesting claim, but perhaps that's all it was.
Why would they put the code to be automatically retransmitted?
One day later, and the train crash occurs.
Somebody's got to be in charge of that, right? Like you're typing down whatever. Like somebody consciously thought to put that code in the message that they were sending out. It's not like it's always there, right? Like you have to trigger that. Like somebody has to manually do that. That's fucked up. I don't know. This is a weird fucked up story.
Releases yet another statement containing an update. FEMA replied that they did not send this out. They'll launch a full investigation into how their codes were hacked. WKTV seems to be the only target of this hack. For now, we've disabled the codes in our decoder that trigger this alert. If there's a real national alert, we'll still receive it from the local radio stations we're assigned to monitor. WKTV will cooperate fully with FEMA, providing information about our hardware, software, and internet access, and will provide log files from our devices. This information will be helpful to FEMA to track down the source of this hack.
So what? Okay. FEMA's saying that the channel did it. The channel's saying that FEMA did it. I guess nobody did it, right?
Oddly, around the same time that this was happening, other videos began to crop up showing strange alerts that had happened in places around the United States. While these are indeed strange and do hint at the possibility of a system-wide hack, the incident that occurred on WKTV was the only one of its kind to include this unusual Dr. Seuss quote.
So weird.
Unfortunately though, to this day, the origin and motive of why this happened or who did it has remained unsolved. Of all the entries I've covered thus far on disturbing things, this is one of the most bewildering. Understandably, since this occurred, conspiracy theories have cropped up all over the internet, theorizing on the potential of the train operator being complicit and entertaining the idea that the crash was somehow planned by some external party.
But why?
While I personally don't subscribe to these, what I do find highly unusual is the timing. And I don't think I'll ever be able to shake that.
That's very strange. What would the motive be, though? Just to cause chaos and mayhem? That's weird.
An audible simulation, Mother Nature's wrath, a nightmarish abduction, a disturbing plea for help, and an eerie broadcast alert. The world can be a depressing, creepy, and disturbing place, and tonight's topics encapsulate that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Spooky. It's an old tape. Play it. What is this? You've unlocked a bonus item. Okay. The man in the monitor. Okay.
It's the 23rd of February, 2017. A criminal trespassing incident occurs in Billings Heights, Montana. Case number 17.12420. The local police department takes to Facebook soon after to ask for the public's help in tracking down this mysterious individual that, considering what he'd done, is every parent's worst nightmare.
What, steal a kid or
something? The Billings Police Department is asking for the public to be aware of an incident that took place last week in the Billings Heights. On the above date and time, officers responded to a possible burglary in progress. The female resident reported to officers that she observed a male subject in her infant daughter's bedroom on the baby monitor.
Ooh.
The victim said she immediately went to her daughter's bedroom, removed her daughter, and left the residence. When officers arrived, the residence and neighborhood were searched, but the suspect was not located. The victim said that the baby monitor is synced to her cell phone. The baby monitor is motion activated and took the attached photo of the suspect, which alerted her cell phone. that photo
Okay.
is this one. To date, this
Fucking
mysterious intruder
terrifying.
has never been found.
Okay.
The world can be a depressing, creepy, and disturbing place, and tonight's topics encapsulated that.
Wait, they never found
You
the
and
kid?
I just dove
It's
into
like,
6 disturbing things from around the internet.
that's it?
I hope you all enjoyed this, and if you have any further submissions for this series, feel free to submit them to the show's inbox at
God, that's awful.
dtfaisubmissions@gmail.com. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you soon.
What? No resolution. It's annoying. Awful. Okay, and final one is going to be this one. Apparently I started watching it or my mom did or something. Either way, I don't remember. Nexpo, go and subscribe to it. This channel's really cool. I've watched everything on there. So good. I always like that, finding a YouTube channel that you really enjoy. It's always a little treat. It's like fucking binging their entire like content. Autophobia. The fear of auto? What?
What do you do when you find yourself staring into a space?
Some
Empty,
backroom shit?
yet terrifying.
Fear of being alone. Yeah, okay. Yep. It's fucking terrifying. 100%.
It's a phenomenon that's gained widespread attention in the past couple years due to the nature of our ever-evolving world. Things are changing,
Some backroom
closing,
shit.
being forgotten, and in their wake are derelict spaces that evoke a nostalgic comfort, yet our brains seem to strangely reject them. We feel like we've been there. We associate memories with images that we've never before seen, and for some reason, we become stuck in this trance of eerie fascination.
Yeah.
This sensation is caused by liminality, a term deriving from the word liminal, meaning something that's occupying a position at, or on both sides of, a boundary or threshold.
What a
something
great
that is
word.
within transition.
That's a
With
fucking
widespread
great
interest
word.
catalyzed by subreddits, forums, and social media, the internet has served as a vehicle for sharing pictures of liminal spaces with others. This has effectively paved the path for various forms of media and online storytelling to capitalize on it, resulting in a myriad of personal stories, creepypastas, and indie games to play on the uncanniness that comes with them.
Yeah.
Contrary to this
I'm all about
relatively
that
recent
shit.
rise in online popularity, though, liminal spaces are nothing new. In fact, the concept of liminality has always existed among us. We've
The
just never really
backrooms.
noticed it.
So weird. Odd.
What is it about source maps that unnerve us? Is it the feeling of loneliness? The emptiness that comes with the very purpose of a landscape? Or is it perhaps the fact that we can hear the sounds of other humans carrying out their lives in the distance, yet in our eyes, we're the only ones here? It's a funny feeling that, a feeling of confused anticipation as we await people that will never come. Contrary to the evidence around us, buildings, furniture within a cozy apartment, beer in the fridge, nobody ever will.
It's that idea of
Throughout the late
anticipation.
90s and into the 2000s, video games were playing on the trope of liminal spaces without even knowing it.
Really?
Gary's Mod and Silent Hill are two that come to mind immediately. And while
I have
Gmod
never
was more of
played
an
Gary's
accidental
Mod.
case, Silent Hill was a bit more on the nose.
And I've never played Silent
Everything
Hill.
about it is interwoven with the very fabric of what makes liminal spaces so creepy to us. Isolation is always the forefront, with the player being left to explore a town that is years past its time.
See, to me, back in the PlayStation 1 era, that's when Resident Evil really took off. And then we had Silent Hill. And that was like considered the kind of knockoff of Resident Evil. But it clearly has like evolved and grown into its own franchise that's loved. But it's just weird to me because Silent Hill is just that game that wanted to be Resident Evil but didn't. And I should really give it a chance. I haven't.
Hospitals, foggy
I don't like
streets,
that.
a theme park, a subway system, and even an apartment that you're unable to leave. Every single game is stuck in a bizarre state of transition. Nothing is bustling and alive anymore, but you sure as hell aren't in this place alone.
Right. Look at this. It's like Halo, kind of.
No Players Online is a 2019 indie horror game that takes this notion and cranks it up to 10.
Oh.
Everything about it is liminal. We expect the game to be littered with other players. We have the overwhelming sentiment that the space we're currently exploring was, at one time, the home to thousands of multiplayer matches. Yet, we're alone. No players are online.
Shit.
But us.
Interesting.
And
I'll
I
have to
think
look
this
that
is
up.
where most of the lingering dread of a liminal space stems from. The anticipation, the expectation that someone else should be around, as
Internet?
is life.
Stop
Yet
it.
there isn't. It's the foundational rejection of loneliness that's hardwired into our brains. And when this loneliness is portrayed through art and even photos of reality, that is where the uncanniness sets in.
Sure. No players online. There it is.
You know, autophobia is something inexplicably and terrifyingly unique, and you never really know it until you're in it.
Yeah.
At school after hours,
Tell me about it.
at a hotel pool when no one's around, the very last one in a shopping mall. There are so many cases for situations like this, and
Very
the
last
beauty of the
person in a
internet is that we're
college.
able to share pictures and stories of spaces that terrify us together. Whether it's through gaming or reality, liminal spaces and their play on our natural fear of loneliness are terrifying, and regardless if we ever figure out why they're so eerie, it's irrefutable that they'll always persist in the dark depths of the internet.
I guess that's what like
There's something of
draws
a
me to
reminder,
this because I've
a memento,
experienced this shit all the
a
time.
lens into a world that is and will always be nothing but a burning, fading, and ever so distant memory.
Disney. And Uncanny Valley bullshit. Oddities on Channel 5.
It's late at night, and cozied up in your room watching creepy YouTube videos. There
Feel
are seemingly
personally
endless,
attacked by that.
but there is one channel that I'd like to highlight tonight. It's called Florescita Dreams, and at first glance of their channel, we can notice the absurdity with their thumbnails. Their content is just as cryptic and heavily resembles various ARGs that we've encountered in videos past.
Sure. I feel
It's in
fantastic,
Spanish, but
do
that
what?
doesn't discount how strange it is. At the end of the day, though, you might be wondering, why are we talking about this tonight?
Why are we talking about this tonight? It's kind of Spanish.
In the midst of scouring for
YouTube
topics to
channel?
cover, I was sent an email by a person named Joshua. A link to this channel and their explanation of it states the following. After Spanish cartoons broadcasted in Mexico, there used to be a PSA showing missing people with their pictures and info on their last known whereabouts. One girl that showed up consistently was named Celine Delgado, and her only picture was of very poor quality, eerie, and her features were very vague. The actual video is in Spanish, but from what I understand, they suggest that she doesn't actually exist and was artificially made specifically to appear unsettling so people would better remember the broadcast.
Ooh, that's some weird shit. That's some like 4D
Interesting.
chess.
The video in question was uploaded on September 2nd of this year and is titled Cinética del Patrón, Celine Delgado. Let's
It's a
have a
weird
look.
tactic. Probably pretty effective too, if we're talking
Evento.
about it.
Celine Delgado. Celine Delgado es un patrón de rostros artificiales. Los rostros son construidos artificialmente y simulan ser caras humanas, para generar emociones deseando generar estímulos supernormales.
What? What are they saying? What the fuck is there a cat? What are
Alright,
they doing?
it seems bizarre, but they're onto something. At the beginning of the video, Floresita seems to assert the hypothesis that the face of a woman named Celine Delgado, quote, kinetically fits non-human, AI-generated faces using the constant tau.
Really?
They go forth to explain the uncanny valley and how facial reconstructions cause uneasiness in those that encounter them.
Why are they using tau?
Following this,
tau is
they
2
superimpose
pi, by the
various
way.
faces with the resulting images off to the right, and among these, Celine's face is shown mashed up with various others. They display a few examples that are, admittedly, eerie,
What is that
and
cat?
ultimately argue that the identity of this Celine Delgado is, as Joshua stated, artificial.
So they're
Now, this is a lot to unpack, but considering that it's something that we haven't looked into prior, I found it worth considering.
it's interesting.
So, who is Celine Delgado, and how did she become wrapped up in this eerie shroud of urban legend?
So they're saying she has an AI generated face because it matches other AI generated faces.
Throughout the 1990s,
Oh.
there was a TV segment run on Channel 5 in Mexico named Servicio de la Comunidad, or Channel 5 Community Service. As Joshua stated, it was a TV spot that ran between children's cartoons in hopes of spreading the word about various missing persons. The segments, contrary to what we're going to discuss later tonight, actually contain voiceovers giving various details and last locations of missing persons.
Sure.
And at first glance, these are mostly tame. When you really look into it though, the eerie nature of these TV spots stems from when you consider how Channel 5 handled the case of just one person, Celine Delgado.
I don't get it. I
Over
don't
the years, her face
understand.
would reportedly pop up in nearly every Servicio de la Comunidad segment, utilizing this exact same low-quality photo. There were times where they give a bit of background info about her, like the fact that she went missing on April 22nd and was just 18 years old.
Selene Delgado López, de 18 años, se extravió el 22 de abril en la delegación Álvaro Obregón.
That's
But
strange.
what cemented her case into the minds of thousands of people came nearly 30 years later.
Like who? Like when they say who? Oh my god.
Munch, munch. Time for a munch. Crunch, crunch.
Fuck am I watching now? Dude, people are fucking weird.
It goes without saying that the videos you're currently viewing are very obviously works of fiction. They were part of a stunt pulled by Channel 5 on their official Twitter page throughout 2019 and 2020. During this time, they were known to upload obscure, eerie videos to their account, only to delete them just hours later. It was
What
an
is
antic that
wrong with these
ultimately
people?
catalyzed their rise to the Twitter trending page on numerous occasions, and also drives home the point that this real-world TV channel is not above messing with you. In the midst of these posts, though, came one that involved a familiar name. This one,
Selena Delgado.
posted after midnight on the 20th of February 2020.
Selena.
We can clearly make out the name, Celine. Given that she was what many presumed to be an actual missing person that was constantly broadcasted on a kids channel over the span of years, it gave birth to a new sort of urban legend that the Floresita Dreams channel was entertaining. The hypothesis that this person
weird
is
shit.
potentially not real. The major argument stems from her missing photo. Many have stated online that it appears common, basic, and fake. This, combined with the lack of any online record that has ever been found about her, has led to a breeding ground of online hearsay, creepypastas, and hoax videos to command the conversation about her.
That's so strange. And it's actually
Now, when I
aired.
stumbled upon this video in my research, I, among many others, had initially assumed that this footage was real. Keeping in mind the other hoaxes and pranks that Channel 5 has played on its viewers, combined with the unconventional nature of these broadcasts being played on a kids channel, I didn't doubt that they'd pull a prank like this to make her name stick with you. Ultimately though, as is the case with many works of media online, this too was a hoax.
Was it really? Okay.
But that doesn't discount the weirdness
Yeah,
of
it
the
was,
story.
wasn't it?
The way that Channel 5 has and is handling her name makes it seem like she's nothing but a tall tale. And unfortunately, given the nature of the internet, many have run with this notion. Regarding the real case of Celine Delgado, unfortunately nothing has ever come of it. She has, as far as anyone knows, never been found, and her case has sat that way for decades.
That's so fucking weird.
Personally, I think Celine Delgado, contrary to the rumors online, is indeed a real person. The argument presented about her having a fake face just doesn't seem plausible. Her image is low quality because it was the 90s. Her record likely did exist, but was never digitized. The uncanniness of this image would be exponentially higher if this actually were fake, and it just doesn't make sense for a channel to slip a random fake person in their broadcast that would most likely never have been noticed back then.
I agree 100% with him.
To me, Celine Delgado was a real person with a story that likely never received any sort of closure, and a person that is now forever wrapped up in the realm of urban legend.
See, when was this? 2016? I don't think we had good enough tech to create an AI image like that. I mean, we're just now getting that kind of stuff in 2022. I could be wrong, though. Maybe they did have something like that that could generate that.
That's just my conjecture.
Oh shit, more tornadoes. Superstorm. Tornadoes are so freaking crazy.
From the span of April 8th to April 9th, 2015, a devastating superstorm would wreak havoc on much of the central United States. 27 tornadoes ranging from EF0 to EF4 would touch down within the span of just 36 hours, resulting in immense devastation throughout Kansas, Missouri, Texas, Oklahoma,
that's me.
and Illinois. While most of them are rated as an EF1 or lower, by far the most destructive would impact a small rural town named Fairdale. Reaching wind speeds of up to 200 miles per hour, this 41-minute storm surge would ultimately become infamous as one of the worst natural disasters to impact the region in nearly 25 years.
Okay, this is the aftermath, I guess. That's what it looks like. God damn. still like an awe-inspiring sight. I fucking love storms like that, though. We haven't had one in a while here in Texas.
On the evening of April 9th, an 85-year-old man named Clarence Schultz had just wrapped up dinner with his wife, Geraldine. He was in the other room getting cleaned up when she suddenly called him back into the kitchen. "Look out the window," she claims. And when he does, Clarence would come face to face with a scene straight out of a nightmare. Immediately, he heads upstairs to grab supplies while she stays behind.
Haven't we
And
watched
while
this
up
before?
there, he pulls
This
out his cell
particular
phone
clip?
to take a quick video.
Maybe not.
What he was unaware of, though, was that while taking this footage, the tornado wasn't heading away, but rather straight towards them.
Yeah. Regardless, I've seen this, and this is fucking insane. Actually, the twist is insane at the end of this. Yeah, that is not good. Run! Well, you can't really run anywhere. Again, cross your fingers. That is not good. Oh, yeah, yeah. There you go. Yeah. Microphone doesn't like that. God damn. Yeah.
Clarence Schultz didn't make it back to his wife, but thankfully, he did make it out of this alive.
That's crazy.
Geraldine, however, wasn't quite so lucky.
His wife.
In the moments following the video, the storm destroyed the Schultz home, and Clarence resultingly found himself caught in a pile of rubble.
Fucking lucky.
All of a sudden, it kind of got quiet. He recalls. "I asked myself, are you dead? No, you can't hurt when you're dead. And I hurt."
Sound logic,
Geraldine
I guess.
Schultz was one of 2 deaths and 11 injuries that were caused by the events from April 9th.
Oh.
The other, their neighbor and longtime friend named Jacqueline Cloza. Cloza reportedly had a massive fear of spiders, which her daughter claims is why she didn't seek refuge in her own basement.
Oh.
In total, over $19 million
God,
in
what a way to
damages were
go.
reported, and the
Shit.
aftermath footage embodies the devastation that was left behind.
You would rather die than go to the basement.
Thankfully, a storm of this magnitude hasn't struck the area since then.
God damn.
And after a grueling, years-long recovery effort, life in Fairdale is mostly back to normal today. For the residents of this small town, though, the scars from that night will remain everlasting.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
While the incident in
God,
Fairdale is
the
just one of
fucking
hundreds of
carnage.
natural disasters that have happened over the years, the resident stories and the media that accompany them paint a picture that is humbling. It takes you there, in a way, conveying the tragedy that nobody could have predicted.
Fucking
Today,
tornadoes. Holy
Fairdale
shit.
stands strong. They are a community that banded together, and while a similar storm hasn't happened since then, they remain vigilant in case something like this ever happens again.
And it will. 100%. Not 100%. Okay, what are you watching
911,
now?
what are you reporting?
Yeah, my house is getting robbed right now.
Another 911 call. These are weird. These make me feel weird. And not in a good way. Still interesting,
On December
though.
1st, 2019, in Michigan, a man named Christopher Neal, his wife Haley Coe, and their 2-year-old daughter Charlotte were watching TV at home.
Sure.
The family had just moved here from North Texas, so they were still
Hey,
getting
that's
settled
where I
in.
live.
All things considered,
Bunch of
the night
Texas
was going okay,
stuff in here
and nothing
tonight.
was out of the ordinary. At around 10 p.m., the three hear a loud noise at the front of the house. It sounds like an intruder, and so Chris heads to investigate while Haley stays behind to call 911.
Fuck that, man.
It was at this point when Chris would encounter an unknown man standing near his front door, and immediately, he too calls the authorities. The following audio takes place the moment the call center answered.
I don't think I'm gonna like this.
911, what is the location of your emergency?
Yes, there's a man in my house right now.
Hold on, stop for a second.
Whoa, there's a man in my house.
I need you to give
Yeah.
me your address first.
Stop for a second. Why? No, get the fuck over here.
Avenue.
Is that a house or an apartment?
House at the end of the street. Why are you in my house, bro? Tell me when you talk to him. She's on speakerphone. Why are you in my house, though?
Okay.
Sir, how many other people are in your house?
It's me, my wife, and our daughter.
How old is your daughter?
She's 2.
2? Okay. Do you have any idea who he is?
We do know. No. Let my wife talk to him.
Okay. I'm not gonna harm you guys. All right. I promise.
Okay.
Shake my hand. 140 in Jones. You can go. I'm not gonna harm you.
That's
Where is the
weird.
volume at right now?
He's standing next to me in my hallway.
Okay, are we still on speakerphone?
We still are. He's right here.
Okay.
Oh, this is
William.
odd.
Yes, ma'am.
William, okay. Can Christopher and his wife and daughter step outside?
No. Yeah, I'm not.
No.
Ma'am,
What?
they're safe.
They're safe?
They're safe. They're gonna stand right here with you.
What are you doing in their house?
I told you there. Shots fired.
Where were shots fired at?
He did not say there were shots
Going
fired.
on, Old 37 or Old Kentucky.
Old Kentucky
What's that?
something.
Stop right here with me, man.
No, I ain't going
You're
anywhere.
going there with me, man.
Bro,
Turn right now, please.
William.
Bro.
William.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you trying to have them do?
He's coming in the room with me. That's it.
Why is he going in the room with you?
why you lock that door? Don't lock that door.
Weird.
You
It's
all right,
very
man? I
strange.
give you my word, man. You're straight.
I get what you're saying, but you got 2 guns, bro.
You're safe.
You got 2 guns?
Mm.
Stop trying to play crazy, man.
I'm not doing anything.
William.
In my house, man.
I'm sorry, man.
William, listen to me.
Why are you here in the first place?
William, can you listen to me?
Yes, ma'am.
I need you to put
I
those
couldn't
guns
be a
down.
911
Because
operator. No way
I've
in
got
hell.
officers that want to help you. I have officers that want to help you and keep you safe. So I need you to put those guns down.
Who are you, man?
I'm 911. I've got help for you.
Do you have to
I
have
need
like
you to put those guns
special
down so that
psychological
they can get you the
training
help
to
that
do
you
that?
need.
Be a 911 caller?
Police here, so I can be.
The police are there,
Or
William. The police are
dispatcher,
there.
recipient, whatever.
They are there. They're there. I've got a lot of deputies there.
Look, man, listen. I'm not harming you, I promise. My word.
He
My life
sounds...
I can hear you, bro.
You understand me?
I hear you.
They got threatened last night.
Okay, I get you, bro.
I'm not harming you, or your children, or your
He
wife.
sounds... trustworthy? No? Am I reading the room wrong?
Yes.
Hey, this is Joe from the Sheriff's Department. How are you, man?
Glad you bad underneath the door. Don't come through that door.
Hmm.
Okay. We're not going to come through the door, man, but I just want to talk to you and find out what's going on.
Don't come through that door. Slide your bad underneath that door, man.
Well, I'm not even
That's
up
not
by the door,
good.
man.
That's
I'm
a
outside the
complete
house.
shift
What
in
else? Let me
demeanor.
know.
Stop playing games with me, man.
What's got you all worked up today, man?
Hello? Hello? Is this Christopher?
No,
Christopher's dead.
Oh, shit. Ooh, no. Fuck. Oh, fuck.
Contrary to the man's claim, Chris wasn't dead the moment he said it.
Oh.
Minutes later, though, he would be.
Oh. Fuck,
After
god
hearing
damn.
the gunfire, police forced their way into the home. During their advancement, 3 officers were shot and would sustain non-life-threatening wounds.
It's awful. Fucking roller coaster ride.
Hey, what's your name, man? Hey, this is Joe out here, okay? Man, we don't want anything bad to happen. We're not gonna hurt you.
Listen to me, please. Go home.
Okay, and that's what he was saying earlier.
Once they charged towards the bedroom that
Door.
Jones was hiding out in, they'd encounter Neil lying on the floor with the bedroom window ajar. Outside of it was Jones trying to flee. However, his efforts were in vain.
They fucking shoot him?
William Jones ultimately faced 19 felony charges and was accused of killing Christopher Neal and wounding 3 officers.
God
He
damn.
was reportedly well known in surrounding counties as a thief and home invader. And astonishingly, just 5 days prior to the murder, he was released from jail after serving time for a previous offense.
Wow.
During his arraignment, his defense attorney
What a
maintained his
fucking
innocence,
piece of
claiming
shit.
that Jones was running from an attacker that night and ultimately sought refuge in the Neal home. I think the 911 audio speaks for itself. However, it'll ultimately be up to a jury in his eventual trial. Since the incident, Haley Coe has given birth to the couple's second child and is now raising them alone.
God, that's awful
With
to hear.
this, their oldest daughter will be forever scarred by the loss of her dad that night,
Mm.
and their youngest will never know him.
God, it's
Christopher Neal
heartbreaking.
died protecting his family from a lifelong criminal. And no matter if Jones is sentenced to life in prison with justice served, the Neal family will forever have to live on without a husband and without a father.
Awful. It's bad.
Coverage of a missing persons investigation.
Not a whole lot to go on, and that is why we need.
Saturday evening,
The Missing.
1989.
I was 3 years
Central
old.
and North America are recovering from a recent Category 5 hurricane. United States President-elect George H.W. Bush is preparing to swear in as the 41st president with just under a week to go. And on Channel 5 up in Chicago, Illinois, an NBC-affiliated news station by the name of WMAQ is wrapping up its nightly programming. In relation to the other two, a news station broadcast keeping up the status quo doesn't seem all that notable or interesting. And to be honest with you, it isn't. Rather, it's what transpired afterwards that's piqued my interest. It's extremely subtle, but after being discovered relatively recently, the footage you're about to watch has opened the door to a mystery that's perplexed a small but growing corner of the internet.
Okay.
Have a
Fix
look.
it. Solve it. Gonna get solved right now. Because I'm.
This is
no, it's not.
WMAQ TV, Channel 5,
talking a bunch
NBC
of shit.
television in Chicago. We now leave the air and wish you a pleasant good morning.
Sure. This is some fucking contingency plan shit. Oh my god, actually, is it? Joanna Lopez. Huh.
It's a rarity that something as simple as a missing notice can fill me with such uneasiness.
The fuck? I don't.
And I think it's because this TV spot is so obscure. This image is incredibly
I
low
don't get the
quality, and there's effectively
face. What
nothing
the
to complement
fuck?
it.
Oh yeah.
No
Black
height,
Spike, yeah.
weight, or age.
Sorry.
No information about where they were last seen. No family contacts.
Should be
No
fine now.
investigative progress reports. No voiceover to fill you in. Absolutely nothing. This just exists as a late-night post-broadcast info screen shown
Oh,
at a time
weird.
when most viewers likely directed their attention elsewhere. All we're left with is the name Joanna Lopez, a poorly lit photo of her face, and a now defunct phone number that's been found to lead to the youth division of the Chicago Police Department.
That's strange.
Something about the way this was presented just seems off. And considering the current online discourse about it,
what is up with
I'm
the
not
eyes?
alone in feeling this way.
Something I can't make out a face. 91, I was 5.
You're watching NBC5, Chicago.
That is very difficult.
What? Dude, this is exactly from Contingency Plan, Local 58.
2 years later, in 1991, WMAQ would once again wrap up their nightly broadcast. In a strikingly similar and almost random fashion, Joanna's missing notice would be played once more.
It's so fucking weird. Again, someone has to be constructing these things.
Considering the blink and you'll miss it nature of the notice this time, it too fell on deaf ears.
It's so fucking weird.
There was, again, no supporting info about her, no updates that might have cropped up in the prior 2 years, still no age, height, weight, nothing. Just this obscure photo with the word missing plastered on top of it. Given how long it was since the last update, combined with the implied lack of any progress in the search, it was beginning to seem that the chances of finding Joanna were dwindling as the days went by.
I mean, and it was just like one time in 1989 and
date,
another time
not a single
in
other
91.
update had ever come of this.
How
Joanna
fucking
Lopez
like random.
has presumably never been found.
Like, so fucking weird. Throughout the 2000 and 2010s, discussion about Joanna Lopez was scattered around the internet. Okay. It seemed that our case sparked interest in various places online, however, it was never quite enough for mainstream attention until this year. Okay, it's weird. It's probably long gone, right?
In late 2020 and into 2021, Joanna's mysterious missing notice would finally be shared to Reddit. 2 posts are known to have spearheaded the conversation. One by a Luke Inspire, and another by a Chris Polygon.
Luke Inspire.
While Luke Inspire's came first, I wanted to focus on Chris's, as this one prompted the most discussion. Simply titled, The Very Obscure Disappearance of Joanna Lopez. Their
So
post
fucking
in
weird.
Unresolved Mysteries outlines most of what we've already touched on so far. They go forth to claim that they have looked through various missing persons resources, however have found absolutely no information about her. Considering this is a subreddit devoted to discussing the unsolved, others quickly chimed in with theories on what they think might have happened. I think she was a runaway and was found pretty quick. Maybe she ran away again in 1991 and they used the same picture. 1989 and 1991 are not that far apart, and if she was in foster care, I doubt they had up-to-date pictures of her. Such a strange case.
Why would you say she was found pretty quick?
Wow, this one is strange.
Like what?
I found the number listed here
Don't get
as
it.
the youth division of the Chicago Police Department. So on the face of it, the number is in fact legit. I don't have the guts to call it, but it's there.
Huh.
Sounds like she escaped some kind of juvenile detention or probation. If it weren't for the reappearance of the photo 2 years later, I'd be inclined to believe that's exactly what happened. But then she was found and returned with her case never having a chance to escalate to federal involvement.
Why do these people say she
The
was
fact that it aired
found?
again in 1991, however, makes me think she was never found. And in the pre-internet days, her case simply slipped through the cracks. I hope I'm wrong. Throughout all of these, though, one comment stood out among the others.
Like, why would you say she
Posted
was
by a
found?
proud Evening Star. They claim the following. Came across this post late last night, and it creeped me out so much that I couldn't sleep for a while. It really is so sad to think that a person can slip through the cracks like that and seemingly vanish altogether.
Oh,
I've
absolutely.
been scouring the Doe network for unidentified Jane Does in and around the Chicago area all morning. and the only possible case I could find is from 1994. Here. I really hope we can find closure on this. My heart breaks for her. Interesting. Heading to that link presents us with a Jane Doe.
Okay.
276 UFIL. She was found deceased in an alleyway, naked from the waist down.
Not good.
It goes without saying that our working evidence is tenuous. However, lining up this photo with that of Joanna Lopez, while considering the time and location in which she was found, postulating that this woman is Joanna isn't out of the realm of possibility.
Huh.
I've done some digging on various missing persons from around the time period and have also come up short with results. There are quite a few from around Illinois. However, their dates of discovery don't quite line up with the two missing broadcasts. It seems to me that Proud Evening Star has found the most plausible visual match out of nearly all the 1990s Jane Does from the area. But even this leaves us with much to be desired.
I don't know. That. I don't know how you can line up the eyes.
The case of Joanna Lopez is one that is undoubtedly haunting. Barring how obscure the photo itself is, the lack of information, the visuals that accompanied the broadcast, and the fact that there is virtually no discussion or record about her ever existing aside from this brief video archive online, this case is enveloped in absolute mystery.
Ooh.
I implore you to join the discussion in finding this girl, and if you know or remember anything about her, myself and countless others are all ears about it. In the worst case scenario, we won't get anywhere and this mystery will remain. But the best case, reaching any sort of closure, that is what I'm aiming for.
It was what, 91? This is what, 30-ish years ago? And nobody's heard anything about that? I don't know. It's weird. Strange.
The internet harbors a vast abyss of content that is perplexing, intriguing, and immensely haunting.
Yep.
A community thriving off sharing
shit
derelict
on the
areas
internet.
around the world. An internet urban legend that engulfed the name of someone who has never been found. An unforeseen natural disaster that wreaked havoc on a community. A 911 call in the midst of a home invasion. And a missing persons broadcast that never found a resolution. Thank you so much for tuning in to this special Halloween edition of Disturbing Things from around the internet. I hope you all enjoyed this, and if you have any eerie discoveries that you'd like to share for a future installment, feel free to fill out my new tip line or shoot me an email at dtfaisubmissions@gmail.com. Once again, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.
All right. I'm going to stop it there. Those were very interesting. Got a few hours out of that. Pretty good. Anyway, I am going to be back tomorrow and we'll do more spooky shit. Otherwise, do the stuff, do the YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe. I absolutely hate that saying that, but gotta do what you gotta do, right? Anyway, I will see y'all later. Bye.